up, YouTube? It is your boy, Tim, coming back at you with another YouTube video, and welcome to TA Vlogs. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, I would like to say welcome. And if you guys could, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. All of that does help out the YouTube algorithm and helps boost my video out to more and more people. So thank you to every single one of you guys that do that on all my videos. And for today, we have a banger for you guys. So I want to start a new series on my channel where I give a spotlight to some up-and-coming brands / designers. And for today's first episode, we have Mike Black, owner of Handmade Newyork, on. So right now I'm going to play that interview for you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. Let's get it. Okay guys, so I would like to welcome Mike Black, Handmade Newyork. This is going to be my first actual interview of this series. So make sure to show some love. Make sure to put all of his details, all of his Instagram and everything down in the link down below. But we're going to start off this interview with just, getting to know each other. And I'm going to lead off the first question with just basically tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a 28-year-old designer. I'm from Queens. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. Now I'm living back in Brooklyn. Just born and raised in New York City. So like through my brand, I'm basically just telling like the New York City lifestyle. I'm a dad, so
Okay.
I'm always motivated.
Yeah, exactly. My wife is actually pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant, so about 1 more month left to go.
Congratulations!
Got that final. Yeah, exactly. So we're on that final stretch, and definitely excited about that. So I've been seeing your brand. We met actually at SneakerCon. That's where we met Atlanta. I was going around doing my raffle, and he stopped me, showed me some love, said he was going to support the YouTube, and I supported him back on his Instagram. So how did you actually start the brand, and where did you get the idea for maybe the name and the logo?
Well, actually, I was a rapper first.
Okay.
Like this whole journey started with me trying to do something completely different. So I was a rapper first, and I remember me and my older brother, because that's who I was making music with at the time. We started doing like a bunch of shows like in the town because that's where we like started gaining the most momentum. So we're just like, all right, we're kind of broke right now and we can't get as fresh as everyone else. Let's just make our own shirts. So my brother came up with this term that's más drogas, which means more drugs in Spanish.
Yeah.
So we did the show. It was like a great show. And unlike every other show, no one was asking us about the music. They were saying like, yeah, the music was cool, but where did you get that shirt from? So my brother was like, and I'm just like, yeah, we sell the shirts. And I remember when we first started, like a person will put the order in for like a shirt, and I'll like be running back and forth to the print shop. And I think I made like $1 or like $2 off of like each shirt. But I was just trying to get these shirts out because I'm just like, bro, we can eventually get a bulk of shirts. And then one day my brother sat me down and he was just like, bro, I don't want to do clothing. So now I'm sitting with Mas Drogas and I'm trying to market this, and like now I'm trying to market to like, the people on my like block in my neighborhood. And I'm going to older people and they're just like, what does it mean? I'm like, more drugs. And they're just like, yeah, I wouldn't wear that. And I wouldn't have my kids wear that. And I'm just like, But at the time, like that's when A$AP Rocky was like the most popular guy like coming out of New York City, and like it fell into like the A$AP Rocky scheme. And I remember I was like playing around with like this design program, and I didn't know how to design. I didn't even own a computer, bro. How about that one? Yeah.
Listen, that's making it through, making it what you have.
Yeah. And my brother told me the program that he used to make the Mas Drogas design. And I just found like a bunch of fonts and I layered them on top of each other. And I found this font, part of this font, and it reminded me of Doug Quellman.
Okay.
And that's my favorite cartoon. So I'm just like, yeah, I want to use this one. And then like I threw the X's over the I's because KAWS, that's when I started like learning about art. And I'm just like, I love KAWS. Like that was the first artist I ever knew. And then I found out that KAWS worked on Doug. I'm just like, yo, this has to happen. And then I threw the cross on the face for Lil Wayne, and then I showed my brother. He was just like, bro, no one is going to wear that. And then I was just like, yo, I know they are. And then I had like another idea on the side. I wanted to do like tailor-made shirt because now I'm like this big designer now. Like never designed anything. I'm a rapper. Now I'm a designer, and I wanted to make tailor-made shirts. and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to be called Handmade by Mike.
I mean, okay,
And
so I'm seeing the
yeah,
vision. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the
so
growth.
as time went on, too many people started telling me like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear Mas Drogas. So I literally took like this guy from Mas Drogas, and I just took the handmade thing, dropped by Mike, and just made it handmade. And I didn't really know anything about marketing. So when I met my wife, she's a publicist. So she said like, you gotta kind of like bring it together in some way. So I'm like, all right, Handmade New York.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, oh, okay. And then I went on Instagram and it wasn't taken, and I immediately just rolled with that one. I remember it was originally HMNY clothing.
HMNY. That's a good little acronym. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely
So
flows. Handmade. You get to see where you're repping, where you're from. Handmade New York. Definitely, am liking it. And that's dope because how you said how Cause worked on Doug. You said and all these inspirations. You have the
mhm.
cross for Lil Wayne. So, would that be someone that inspires you, like fashion wise?
Definitely.
ASAP. You said.
The whole ASAP. All right, so before ASAP came out, people thought I was crazy, but I only really wear black.
Okay. Okay.
So like when ASAP came out, everyone started wearing black. So like that was always my thing, and like slimmer fit clothes and like wax denim. That was always cool to me. But like one, I could never afford it. And
Yeah.
two, I didn't like really have access to like thrift shops. I just didn't know about these things, honestly. Because I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and we just don't really have stuff like that.
Okay.
And then one summer, we took a trip to Soho, and I never really looked back after that.
Bruh, Soho is definitely a different
Yeah, and
spot.
that's when I really started learning about like buy, trade, and sell. Like, well, if you have one good item, you can get another good item, and getting into that, and I remember I had so much knockoff stuff because I just didn't know how to like legit check. I literally didn't know anything,
And
bro. But
listen, down in Canal Street, I mean, my family's from New York, so I know a little bit of it. But like Canal Street, right? That's where they have like all the fake stuff
yeah,
mainly.
yeah.
Like, bruh, it was an experience. I'm not gonna lie to you. One time, my sister was looking for an LV bag, and she probably gonna kill me for telling her business out that she bought a fake LV bag. But, bro, we walked into a laundry mat, right?
Uh-huh.
And Buddy moved the wall. The wall literally moved, and all the purses were behind the wall. They're like, "Come, hurry, hurry, hurry!" We got behind the wall, dude, and like it was one of the most like adventurous things I've ever done. Like getting behind this wall to go buy these things, and we had to go underneath, go out the
Mhm.
back door. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so crazy. It is so crazy.
And just the
But yeah,
fashion in New York in general is just ahead of its time. It's the mecca. Obviously, you have LA
mhm.
for like the movie stars and stuff like that, but like for music and fashion, clothing in general, I definitely do look to like New York as like the pinnacles of all that.
Yeah, so like I'm literally like experiment. Well, I always remind people like I'm 28, so like when like the ASAP Rocky thing happened, I was like 19 years old. You understand what I'm saying? This is like, oh, I'm an adult now. Being an adult is so cool. Like you feel like it was just a whole nother world, and I'm just being introduced because in high school I was a polo guy. Like
Hmm.
that's all I really wore, just polo and Jordans. Like I didn't really have like versatility. It was just really like if it's polo, it's good.
Yeah.
So that's why but that helped me like kind of develop the identity for my brand because like I like the cleanness in like the Ralph Lauren polo thing. So that's how I started understanding like what I don't want to make.
Okay.
So like there's a lot of things that like I just won't make because I just won't wear it.
Yeah.
So like the polo, the ASAP Rocky, like with the dark colors and like, just experimenting with like different textures. That's when I started messing with like corduroy and like, like the suede fabric and, varsity jackets, different types of hats. Cause growing up in New York City, we only really know the fitted cap. So then, I got exposed to Soho. So now, we have snapbacks, we have A-frames, bucket hats, like just a whole new world of style that I'm 19 years old, just soaking it all in. And then Bobby Schmurda happened. And
Bobby Shmurda.
everyone wanted to come to New York City. So like the parties in New York City, the style, I'm just like taking it all in. And ASAP Rocky also played a major part because he has like this nostalgic aspect to his swag. So he'll bring back like the Averex jacket. So that's when I started like introducing that. So like that's when I started making like the leather sleeve. Like this is inspired by Averex jacket.
Yeah,
This
for
is a
sure.
jacket that like it looks literally just like this jacket that I had in like the second grade.
No,
So it's
I definitely agree with that. Like, I think fashion definitely repeats itself. I guess trends in general repeats itself,
mhm.
and just stuff from the '90s were is just. I felt like stuff from the '90s were so different, and then when we got to 2000s, it was kind of like stagnant. Like like obviously you had like the baggy clothes, like the bigger T-shirts, the
Yeah,
bigger stuff like that. But then after that, like what was next? So like the '90s stuff just had to come back, and it was just
yeah,
so new, so fresh. And like you said, you're 28, so you were born in the '90s, so you have the
mhm,
nostalgia aspect as well. So it's like,
yeah.
hey, I wish I could have this now. I had it when I was in the second grade. I wish I could have it now. You know how clean this would look.
No, definitely. And it's like uh looking back on it, like now I understand how bad the fashion was in the early 2000s.
You had the
But
hat, the jerseys, the
the
XL shirts
jersey,
underneath.
and then we went through the Von Dutch phase.
Von Dutch, yeah, Von Dutch. I kind of skipped that, but I was definitely. Listen, I'm Puerto Rican, but I wore a do rag. I wore a headband. I had sweatbands on my wrists. I had the basketball. Nelly was my inspiration. Air Force Ones. That was
Yeah, oh
me
man.
all day long.
Nah, that was the time. And it's so funny. The only thing that was good at the time was the shoes.
Yeah, because the
The shoes was
Air
amazing.
Force Ones were
Air
amazing.
Force Ones, Air
Tim's
Maxes.
Tim's have always been like the go
Yeah,
to. And then
yeah,
Jordan ones, I mean, they were slept on, but Jordans were continued to retro at that time too. So they had some of
yeah.
the best Jordan retros at that time. So on the flip side, we talked about your fashion inspos, but what motivates you to keep going? What's your personal inspirations? I know creating a new fashion brand is definitely probably extremely difficult. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going?
Oh, well, I don't, of course, my son, but like he's 6 years old, so it's he doesn't really understand what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I just got to pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
paying the bills, that's one. And it's funny because like when I started this, I didn't know what I was doing. I met my fiance, which is going to be my wife next year, and like she helped me with it. And I started in 2015. Didn't sell anything. We met in 2017. I took a year off just to learn stuff, and I did a rebrand and a relaunch in 2018. The motivation is basically people thinking that this happened overnight,
Mhm.
not realizing that I've really been working on this for 6 years now. Well, dang, about to be seven. So like, when people coming to me and ask me like, how do I do this and how did you get going so far? It's just, I guess it's just one of those things where like just having the answers.
Yeah.
I like being the guy that has the answers. And I didn't really know that many guys that had clothing lines, but everyone was a rapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I didn't have none of the answers for the rap, but as I was going on through my journey, I started, learning things for myself. And the biggest motivating factor is honestly seeing people in my stuff. Because it's especially when I started doing things like traveling to SneakerCon, it kind of started, really letting me know like, this can work. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just those motivate like just people just asking me like, yo, how did I do it? So like, that's my biggest thing, like just being able to have the answers.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that because like with me doing YouTube, I've been doing YouTube for like 4 or 5 years on and off. I would probably say like a year and a half consistently doing it. Maybe like weekly uploads here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't make any money off of it. So people are like, "Why do you keep doing it? Like, are you making money off YouTube?" But it's definitely like once you see that one video that pops off, or that video that gets a lot of comments like, "Hey, this is a dope video." That
Mm-hmm.
definitely is like a motivating factor to me to keep going. Like people are like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to the next video," or "I can't wait to see what you're gonna post next." Like the love that they show you
Yeah.
is definitely a great motivating factor. And to, I guess, piggyback off of your answer, what would probably be some advice that someone's probably starting out? Today's their first day. They're thinking about creating a clothing brand. You say you're 6 years in. Like, what would you
Mm-hmm.
have loved to know, like, first year, basically?
Don't overthink it. You don't know what's gonna work until you put it to work.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things. Like, if I would have just listened to my brother 6 years ago, like this guy never wouldn't have existed. If I would have listened to the people saying like I won't wear the Mas Drogas, I wouldn't have known to make the switch. So like you never know what's going to work until you put it to work. So just try it. Start with one t-shirt. You don't need a shelf full of t-shirts. Start with one t-shirt. Take a picture. Just start. Just do it. Like that's what I always, when people usually ask me, I usually just say like, all right, a t-shirt is about $3.50. You're just starting. You don't need like the best quality t-shirt. You just kind of need an idea of how the thing is going to look. Make the t-shirt, take a picture of it, and see how people feel about it. You
Yeah.
know, that's really what it starts with. Because like I started posting like mock-ups like on my Instagram. Like I didn't even have an actual tangible product. And I remember the first time like I got my little vinyl cutter and my heat press, and I made an actual t-shirt, and I took a picture and posted it. I sold the t-shirt that night. I went 3 years without selling anything. Made one t-shirt and I sold it that day.
I mean,
So
I guess that's why Nike is a multi-billion-dollar business, because just do it is their slogan, and I guess that just works for everything in life.
yeah,
Just
literally.
do it. Like you just gotta take that leap of faith, I guess. You know.
Yeah. And well, the brand, and it's just, as time goes on, because like my brand, like the biggest thing about it is, like I said, is based off the New York City lifestyle. I remember growing up when one of my first jobs was at, what was it, Abercrombie? Or yeah, one of my first jobs was at Abercrombie, and I loved it because I was one of the first people in my crew with a job. But
Hmm.
I realized that like Abercrombie and Fitch, PacSun, Hollister, all of these brands is based on the California lifestyle. So I started looking for stuff that was based on the New York lifestyle, and it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So when I made my brand, that was basically what it was, really chimed in on. So like I have hoodies that say like you feel me? Our slogan is stand clear of the closing doors. If you ever rode public transportation, that's one of the things that they say at every stop at
Yeah.
the thing. It's funny. I met the Bing Bong guy the other day. We about to do
Oh,
something.
for TikTok, the big
Yeah,
bug.
Gorilla Nems. Yeah, he's a
Oh,
good
that
guy.
listen, that sound is all over my TikTok. It's going crazy. But
Yeah,
it's definitely dope that you, so basically you saw deficiency in the market. Everything that you were looking at was California brand, and you want to see a New York brand stand out like that. So that's definitely like a visionary aspect, to see a deficiency in the market and be able to act on it. Most people are just gonna see it and just walk past it like, okay, whatever, someone else will create it, or maybe that's coming up and I don't need to create it. But you took matters into your own hand and made it happen. So that's
yeah.
dope.
Just
um
gotta do
right
it.
now, I saw on your Instagram, I saw hoodies and sweaters. Obviously, it's wintertime. It's cozy season. What do you think coming up in 2022 you want to work on, or maybe you have in the works that you can say about your brand?
Well, 2022, we're focused more on outerwear, accessories, and we're actually got a new vendor. So like the quality is just going to be better around the board. I think we're going more of a oversized route this season. We're like now we're more true to size, slim fit. Next year we're going more like an oversized look. Um, Oh, I'm excited to talk about this. We got these dope windbreaker pants coming.
Okay.
So, just giving new things a try. Like we basically, we started with a t-shirt and then we went to sweatsuits. Believe it or not, these are our first hats. We did
Okay.
Scullies last year. They didn't really do too well, so we took them off. But the hats, just accessories, things of that nature, and just quality around the board,
Hmm.
And we're trying to get into like a media aspect, kind of like a complex
Okay.
thing.
Complex news, doing the brand and then doing that
Yeah.
stuff. Would you be doing like content for yourself, or like content for like other people? You would say like behind the camera, I guess.
So we got this. So we started, uh, piloting this summer. We do this thing with Handmade TV. We do this thing where it's called we drip check.
Okay.
So like when we're at sneaker con, we do the drip checks. Just to get a sense of what other people are wearing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like Handmade New York, it's a community. It's a community of fly people. Like
Hmm.
it's how can I put it? It's more than just a brand.
Yeah.
It's more like a lifestyle. Like you handmade. You feel me? Just because you have a YouTube channel. Handmade is self-made.
No, that's definitely, and it's definitely a good model to live by. People got to make it however they can, and most people don't help each other. So most of the time, it's yourself. So it is definitely handmade. Um, would you actually say like, because I'm trying to model it like Supreme? You know how Supreme has every season they have their accessories, they
Hmm.
have their their winter stuff or their fall stuff. Would you kind
Yeah.
of say like maybe Supreme was maybe like a model towards your brand, or you never looked at it like that?
Definitely. I use the two biggest brands that I use as models, and I tell people this all the time. I look at Supreme with their drops, like how they do their releases, and I look at the hundreds.
Okay.
The hundreds is someone that I follow a lot, and when I first started, I used to follow what's these guys' names? Diamond Supply. I love Diamond Supply.
Yeah, Nikki Diamond and
So
them.
like I followed their stories 10 deep, like just that lane of fashion, period. Like I basically just follow the people that I just the stuff that I'll wear, like I try not to sell products that I wouldn't wear myself,
Hmm.
you know. That's is has bittersweet results sometimes
Yeah.
because is sometimes I feel like I'm missing out, but to for me to stay true to the brand, to stay true to what I started,
Hmm.
wanted to do, like I just kind of have to like stick with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know sometimes you have to appease the people, give the people what they want, but as well, you got to balance. It's a juggling act, between giving the people what they want and what you want to put out as your work of art. So definitely is a
Definitely.
balancing act. So with that being said, where would you say you see the brand within like the next 5 years? Like, what would be your ultimate goal or like your dream like to happen with the brand?
Well, the goal is to have a storefront
Okay.
in New York City. That's like, short term. That's basically like the only real big major one that we want to have. We're not really, focused on the fashion weeks or any of that. Like, the idea where this all started, like the end goal was to have our storefront as a New York City landmark. So if like you're into the culture of streetwear, when you come to visit New York City, we want it to be like in essential, like, all right, we're here, we have to go to the. I'm like, you don't even have to be buying something. I want you to come experience the Handmade New York store. And that's where we pretty much been sticking true to. We're a team of three
Hmm.
right now. It goes up and down, but we're basically really a small team. But that's basically been the goal from when we basically started from the beginning. Like we always wanted the storefront. We always wanted it to be like a landmark and more of an experience as opposed to somewhere where people come buy clothes.
Hmm.
I want you to come like to the store to take a picture to show people like, yo, I was here.
Yeah.
And just to be a part of streetwear culture and just New York City culture. That's just really the overall goal. Like there's no, like I said, we're not really into like the fashion week or none of that stuff. So like we just really want to be like in stamped in the culture.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that aspect because I've always wanted to open up a sneaker shop, and I come to my wife and I'm like, "Hey, I want to open up a sneaker shop, but I don't want it to just be a sneaker shop. Like, I want people to come there, talk about sneakers, hang out, and then she always hits me with, well, how does that gonna make money? Like, you're gonna charge the people $5 to come in to hang out? I'm like, nah, why would I charge them $5? He's like, then you're just having like a house. You could just invite people over. But I'm like, no, I want to have a community. People come. It's a safe place. They can either trade shoes. They can come there to legit check their shoes, watch the game. Hang out. So that's like a struggle that I'm trying to figure out. Try to figure out like a sneaker shop where I can do that. And that was like another inspiration that this whole series brought out was I was thinking I was going around with the idea of having a sneaker shop, but having people send in their clothes and I sell it in my shop, and not so much like a full size run, maybe like one or two sizes of each piece, and
Mhm.
it'll be like a seasonal rotation. Like, okay, you're gonna be in my store for 2 weeks. If you're hot, I'll keep you. If you're not, then I'll keep your Instagram. And if anybody wants to come in, I'll have your Instagram and they can buy from your shop. And have a continuous rotation of different stuff. And
Mhm.
not even so much me be the judge because like who am I to judge somebody else's work? I'm gonna put it out there. If it's hot or not, I'm gonna put it out there for that week and let the people be the judges of. Have a lineup. This is the drop week for this week, let them know, build anticipation, and just have like a constant rotation of new clothing coming in and out of my shop. So
Not super.
yeah, that was a way I was trying to differentiate myself from other shops. So I really haven't seen that, and give other people platforms to put out their work. You know, what if someone stops by my shop in Atlanta? You know, what if a rapper or someone stops by my shop and they see your brand and like, yo, I like this. I'm gonna fuck with this guy, and then
Yeah.
that's it. And your brand blows up from there. You know, so you never know. So that was an
No,
idea.
that's super duper dope,
Yeah.
honestly. And I honestly feel like it'll work. I definitely feel like you should definitely do that.
Yeah, so definitely looking into that, looking at the logistics, trying to figure that out. But I mean, overall, man, this was a great talking to you. I mean, do you have any points that you maybe wanted to hit on, or anything you wanted to shout out, or anything like that?
It's actually one more 5-year goal. I
Okay,
actually want to do an artist tour merch.
okay,
Yeah, we definitely. I like that's one of the things. Like I've recently put that in my what is it called? Manifestations.
yeah, vision board.
Vision board. I'm
I
definitely trying to put that in there.
I
So
saw on your Instagram that Dusty Locane came by and stopped by and showed some love or something like that. You think
yeah,
maybe that
that
could be
was
a possibility? You don't want to say? Okay, okay. Listen. You guys are gonna have to stay tuned to the Instagram and everything like that to find out more information. But I definitely peeped the Instagram and I saw that. I was like, hold on, this guy looks super familiar. And I was like, all right, all right. I see them making some moves.
yeah. It's funny. He was like one of the first artists to really really just show us love. Like one of the first artists. We had another artist. He just got signed to Griselda, Rome Streets. He showed us love. Uh, when we first started, we was in Chinese Kitty video.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's just because we well like our team came from the rapping thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like second nature. So like we kind of always really gravitated towards rappers. We know how to communicate with the artists, the managers, because we come from that. So that was easy. But the Dusty Locane, that kind of that happened out of nowhere. I was just at the right place at the right time, honestly.
That's usually how it is. You at the right place at the right time is never really planned. And then when you mean by doing their tour merch, would that be like, in your idea, would that be exclusively for them? Like the public wouldn't be able to get any of it, or would you like? How would you go about doing that, basically?
Well, I will prefer for the public to like after they do a show when you go to the gift shop, like I want it to be like a handmade Dusty Locane like
Okay,
type thing,
I got you.
like it's I'm really wanting to be a New York artist for the first one. That's really the goal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something that is on the vision board, and we're trying to really make that happen.
You guys got to stay tuned. Make sure to tap into the Instagram. But yeah, guys, this was a great interview. Make sure to check out all the pages. They'll all be in the top of the link description down below. Handmade New York. That's the Instagram. Is there any other places where they can find you at?
Handmade New York on Facebook, Handmade New York on TikTok, handmadenewyork.co. That's the website. Uh, yeah, man, just tune in. We drop every week. We trying to keep the supreme business model. So 2022 is new drops every week coming. Yeah, man, just a lot of work, new designs, better quality. Hopefully this tour merch thing happen. And yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been real. It's been your boy Tim and Mike here. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.